Howdy folks, for me this is a Friday morning shave, and shaving cream of the day comes by the way of Portugal. It's top secret, and that's the name of the shaving cream. Thought that was a pretty nice name. I like that one. Been a little bit, I guess you might say, remiss in showing anybody what I use on my beard, and here of late this is what I've been using, Maestro Spirited Blend. And I've had this one. I use it every so often, and that's what it looks like on the inside there. Kind of goes well with the color of my beard. Spirited Blend, I guess you might say you can smell what might be some eucalyptus or menthol, that kind of Spirited Blend. Also, of course, I've got my alum block with rubber band. Got some Humphreys Witch Hazel Lilac, and aftershave of the day is going to be Lucky Tiger. And of course, the shaver of the day is going to be the Focus Dynamic Single Edge. And the blade I have in today is going to be a Derby Professional. In other words, that's the pre-cut Derby blade. Yesterday I shaved with the Focus Dynamic, and the blade I had in there was a feather blade. And as it goes for shave feel, really couldn't tell the difference in between a Perma-Sharp and the feather. Really worked hard, in other words, to test how aggressive can you be with this razor before you get irritation. I didn't get irritation. I really, I guess you might say, in a way, this is just a nice shaver. I've got the Top Secret here mixed up in a wooden bowl from the Distinctive Goat. This one here is made out of walnut, and whipped it up with a horsehair brush here, Vie Long. I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you what the scent is. My nose is not the best at picking up scents unless it's a straightforward scent. I should say you might hear some thunder and maybe some heavy rain. We got some weather moving through again. Matter of fact, they were saying that some areas could receive up to 5 inches of rain, so might be strong frog strangler weather here. Speaking of that sort of thing, I have a ornery cat. His name is Thor, and he is ornery. But every once in a while he'll bring a present up to our front door. We have a porch that he'll bring his his catches, and a couple of days ago his catch was a frog, but he ate the legs. He left the rest of it on the front porch, right in front of the front door, for everybody to see. He's an ornery one. At any rate, got a really good shave with the feather blade. Really good. I mean, I really worked at trying to see if I could get irritation to cut, nick, which sounds kind of odd, but the reason I did that is because I really felt like it's not that it's impossible, but very difficult to get a nick or a cut with this shaver. It's for a shaver, especially somebody new, this would probably help keep a person shaving. I mentioned it before, but I really feel like that this shaver was not marketed or intended necessarily to compete with the shave feel of a single edge that has a thicker blade. I think this was really headed towards the cart market. With this pivoting head, it is very easy. When I say find the angle, all you got to do is put it up there and it's going to adjust accordingly. As long as the angle is not, you know, just way out of bounds there. It's been a really smooth shaver. Cannot complain about this razor at all. I mean, in that it's designed, it's well made, really easy to use. And I can only tell a slight difference in between the feather blade and the derby blade. Derby Professional, like I said, this was a pre-cut one. There is a drawback, I would say, and that's because of what I normally shave with. I normally shave with a shavette, and I do shave with single edge, you know, like gem razors, as well as injectors, DE razors. On occasion, I'll dabble into the straight razor. If you shave with this very long, it wouldn't surprise me if you don't develop some bad habits, because the amount of pressure that you would put on this razor is not the amount of pressure you put normally when you shave. I guess you might say it kind of resembles, reminds me from back in the day shaving with a cartridge razor. Which I did do sparingly. If you hadn't followed along with me, how I got started in all this is I used to have a full beard. Had it for 15, 20 years. Had it for quite a while. And one of the reasons why I quit shaving was because, I say quit shaving, only trimmed up here and on my neck, was because of the fact that the cost and the discomfort, and it was just for the amount of money I was forking out, I just didn't see any sense in shaving. So I didn't use an electric razor per se. In other words, one with a rotating head or anything like that. But what I did do was a beard trimmer is what I used a lot of times to even trim up here and down here, because I was not buying another cartridge. I had one left. I had one left, and I was using it for those, like if I had a wedding or something of the sort to go to. I wasn't shaving anymore. I wasn't spending that kind of money to get that kind of shave. Just no way. Well, what had happened is that the wife asked in a particular way, a very kind way, that that I would shave it off. And I told her, well, I'll leave this part on. You know, in other words, the compromise, if I could find a decent way to shave. And that's how I got started into wet shaving. And it just occurred to me one day that, you know, way back in the day, these guys had to get good shaves. How did they do it? So I started looking into it and discovered, yeah, they still make those DE blades and all kinds of stuff. Straight razors everywhere. DEs. That's how I got started into this. And if I'd had found this when I first started shaving when I was a young one, I'd probably continue on shaving. It is a really good shaver. It's not aggressive. It's not too mild in my opinion. It is a mild razor, but not to the point where you couldn't get an acceptable shave to last you, you know, all day. And even at that, this thing here, you can touch up at the end of the day if you're going out for a special occasion. You could touch up with this, and like I say, I'm not even, you really have to seriously work at it to get any kind of irritation, at least for my face and neck. you know, it's just, it amazes me considering what I went through years ago. It's like, man, this thing is about like 20 some odd years late across the grain. It would be easy to get lazy with your technique. It'd be very easy to do that because of the fact that the pivoting head, it finds the angle for you. The way it's designed, it seems like it's kind of hard to put too much pressure. Matter of fact, it's kind of interesting. Have a friend at work that he has a full beard, and yesterday I took a DE razor, Gillette flare tip, some blades, shaving cream, brush, just for him to trim up in particular areas. And we were talking about no more blades. What I took him probably will last him a year with the area that he has to shave. Yeah, the rain just picked up right then. I looked at the radar and I wasn't too sure whether I was going to get this done before the rain really hit, because we're under a flash flood watch. You will, excuse me, I'm sorry. You will notice that it seems like some of the shaving cream is left, and it's just coming off the head there. In my opinion, this razor is a bit deceiving because it doesn't at times feel like it's really taking anything off. But then when I go to rinse, you can feel how much it's taking off. I will say this razor is not for everybody. If you're looking for that single edge, that thick blade feel, yeah, this razor is not for you. I would not, no, I wouldn't even consider it because it's not even remotely close. If you're got somebody that you know that is new starting, maybe like for instance my son, he's 13, and going to start him out with a DE razor, which he's already got one shaved in with a DE razor, twist open Gillette flare tip. But this razor is definitely going to be safe for him. In other words, it's not leaving until he's ready to give it a try, because it's just a smooth shaver. So it's perfect for some people, and it won't be for some others. Can't complain about how it's made, because it's well made. Sure, you've seen the video, and if you haven't, I'll go ahead and link it again to the bottom. The gentleman from the Superior Shave Shop, he does a demonstration how easy it is to swap out the blade, and it really is easy. You don't necessarily have to have the stand in order to change it out. Matter of fact, he was pretty much showing you how you can do it without the stand, and about the only thing I could say is that it's a little bit more difficult when you've been shaving with it, because just a tiny bit of that soap creates a suction on that blade, so it takes a little bit more effort to get out of there. Outside of that, it's no problem. So if you're using a blade that has some of those wax dots on there, when you go to slide this on, that wax, of course, is going to cause you to have to put out a little bit more effort to get it to slide. A little bit off the beaten path. I don't know So in other words, gentlemen, you'll get to talk to your wife. This would be excellent for a lady. Matter of fact, I'll have to talk to my wife, see if I can talk her into it. You know, sometimes, you know, change is very scary. I know it was when I first started. I shaved my beard off. I mean, face it, my kids, my two youngest kids, had never seen me without a beard. I mean, outside of a photo. That's one thing I'm glad I managed to keep this, because boy, I can remember those days back then. Boy, shave this area. Talking about weepers, irritation, stinging like you wouldn't believe. No fun. Yeah, those bad razors from back in the day, those big shavers, single edge. I think those are the ones that convinced me to grow a beard. In my opinion, shaving with this is darn near effortless. It's, in a way, it's been, how you say, fun and a little bit of enlightenment that people are still looking to try to figure out a way to improve a shave in a more traditional manner. Derby Blade Professional is doing great. There was one blade that I had that really, how could you say, I noticed that it was, it's not one of my favorite ones. It's a pre-cut. It's called Sharp. They market it with saying it's made with Swedish steel, I think it is, and I think it's made in Bangladesh. I think I only found one shaver where that pre-cut single edge blade worked well for me, and then even in the focus dynamic I could feel a noticeable difference, to the point where I knew that I already shaved with some other blades that felt a whole lot better. Still could get a decent shave out of it. That, you know, it's, we're talking about, you know, only small differences, but considering how many DE blades I have several different kinds, and what I've shaved with, I didn't see any sense in shaving with something I wasn't too terribly happy with. I could just tell the difference. You know, Perma Sharp, a feather. I haven't tried the a Persona blade in it, but typically my experience with Persona is that whether it's reds, the blues, the American-made ones, in other words, the labs. I haven't tried a med prep. Med prep ought to be interesting, but never had a bad experience with Persona. So that is a lot of the fun of, in my opinion, of shaving. If you don't follow along with my blog, I refer to my shaves when the alum block being bored, because yeah, there's no stinging. Outstanding shave. I mean, face it, smooth, comfortable, irritation free shave. Yeah, I got it. And if that's what you're after, man, this is a razor for you. I think you'll struggle, unless you, depending on your beard growth, I think you'll struggle to get a BBS shave. I think you will, because I really tried yesterday with the feather blade. I worked at it. Also, I am not a person that buffs when he shaves. use a buffing motion, and this is a perfect buffer. If you like shaving like that, boy howdy, this one here is excellent. As I started working with it, buffing, it's like, wow, it works excellent like that. Because that pivoting head just works just perfect with it. Lilac, I can still smell it. For me, it's a little bit awkward to show you how I remove the blade from way up there without moving the camera, but I have also used, I have a towel right here in front of me, and it's all folded up. That's what I dry my hands on, and you can put it on the towel and it'll slide right there on the towel. So like I said, you know, if you're concerned about holding it in your hand, not really interested in buying the stand, it's very easy to get that blade out of there without, you know, putting it in your hand if you're concerned about that sort of thing. Lucky Tiger. I like this scent. It's a, I can say, light, easygoing scent. It smells great. I'm not real good at describing scents, so whenever I can find a website or somebody that describes it a whole lot better than what I could, I'll go ahead and copy it and put it down below, as well as where you can find these items. Well, hopefully that it kind of helps some folks. If you've been wondering about this shaver, are you going to get an aggressive shave? No. You get a smooth and comfortable, irritation free? Most likely. I know I have. See, I've really tried to get one that's try to irritate, try to get BBS, get, closer to what I normally do, because usually if I try to do that, I get irritation. Not a good shave for me. This case, I've gotten a great shave every time I've shaved with this. So, something to think about. Hopefully it helps out somewhat. And believe it or not, I think you probably could sell it even if you decide you didn't like it. Seems like they're a little bit hard to come by nowadays. Weather's moving in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to conclude this. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.